So originally I wanted to do a part 2 video for the HKP30 and kind of show the EDC capacity and holsters and carrying it and whatnot. But when I was speaking with Dana Dara over at Dara Holsters, they didn't make a holster for the HKP30. So it kind of looked like we were going to have to squash that video for a bit. But, lo and behold, they wanted to partake. So not only did they send me a holster for it, they sent me a VP9sk to test out. So that was super cool of them. We definitely appreciate that. And they also sent 2 holsters, which are super awesome. I mean, check these things out. This holster, it is super thick. You can check that out. So it definitely has a higher end premium feel to it. It has that closed belt loop, which I love. The lockup is super tight. You can hear that. There's nothing there, and this thing is definitely solid quality. But not only did they send that, they sent one over for my vehicle, so you can hook this up to your gear shift and you have access there where you're not committing to some of these other holsters that screw into the side of your car. So that's definitely a plus there. I will put a link in the description box below so you can check them out. Definitely look into that, because these are not your standard holsters, guys. These are really high end. I mean, they really took detail to the finest with this thing. You can see that there. Check them out. All right, quick rundown of the features. So when you purchase one of these, you're going to get 2 magazines, and both of them are 10 round capacity plus 1 in the chamber. You're going to get one of the magazines with a pinky extension. That's definitely going to add to the comfort of holding and carrying one of these. So you got that one hanging off the edge there. You can kind of get a good feel on it. These are empty, just so you know, for anybody worrying. There is a mag release right here on both sides. That is ambidextrous. It's plastic, which is meh. But if you're a traditional guy and you like the button, this one's not so bad. It's okay. I mean, you can get used to it. It's definitely not a bad thing. It's more in the European style. You're going to get forward and rear serrations. And something about these is that these are super functional. As you can tell, they definitely are not aggressive, but they are functional and they definitely work well. You will get luminescent sights, which means they glow in the dark. Are they night sights? No, they are not. They are basically painted on, but as you can tell, they definitely light up really well. And they stand out for sure. With the striker fired model, you get the chamber indicator there. I think that's kind of stupid, not gonna lie. It shows red when there's one in the chamber. That's fine. It's not a big deal to me. As you can tell, you got your mounting rail there for flashlights or a bayonet or whatever you want to add on this thing, and you've got a nice wide trigger guard. So if you have a gloved hand, bam, right in there. It fits perfect for really any size hands, and you're also getting that really nice look of an HK. With the box, you're going to get 1 magazine loading device, same as any other company, I suppose. Glock included in that. They're okay. It says HK on it. It's whatever. You're going to get a bunch of side panels and back straps so that if you have a bigger hand, it fits for you. And like we said, 2 magazines. You're also going to get whatever that is, just some sort of little bead to keep your pistol dry. So that's what it's going to look like. You're going to get a sweet little box that says HK on it. It's definitely sharp looking. And your traditional lock that you get with most firearms these days. So not a whole lot in that department, but at least you get a nice box. All right, on to the pros list. So number 1 is compact size. That's for me, at least. That's number 1, just because I want something that's really concealable and still carries enough rounds to be effective in a life or death situation. This thing, like we said, is carrying 10 plus 1. That is plenty, in my opinion. If you can't get it done with 2 or 3 rounds, then you probably should get a rifle. That's just my opinion on it, but it has a very similar size to Glock 26 and other similar firearms in the subcompact community. It's not overall too thick. It definitely conceals well for those who are concerned about that. And it's not really aggressive. Like we said, the serrations, they don't dig into your side or anything like that. It's just really comfortable to carry. It's not a bad firearm for concealed carry at all. The second thing I look for whenever I'm purchasing an EDC firearm is, company reputation, because you want to know that the company that makes the firearm is going to stand behind their product. And HK has really produced some awesome firearms over the years. It's decades they've been producing things that are just hung around forever, like the MP5. I mean, that thing is in TV and movie lore all over, and there's tons and tons of their firearms that are just really recognizable and carry a lot of weight. P30, as you guys know, love this thing. This is probably one of my all-time favorite firearms, and it's been tested up until like 90-something thousand rounds. So they definitely stand behind their products, and they really rigorously test this stuff. All right, so the third thing on my list, and maybe higher on your list, is the price, because a lot of people want to, get a bang for their buck when it comes to purchasing firearms because they're expensive. So you don't want to spend the dollars trying to buy one of these things because they're expensive. I'm just kidding. They're around the 570 to 580 range. You may be able to find them on sale for cheaper than that. Used, you're looking at about $400, and I'm seeing some guys sell these on Arms List, so you can definitely pick them up used. That's a pretty comparable price to everything else on the market. When you're looking at the reputable name of a company like HK, Glock, Smith & Wesson, those stuff, you're looking at a more hefty price tag than your European-made models like TSOS or any of those companies that offer discount stuff. So you're going to get what you pay for. HK definitely has higher-end products, so they're going to command a higher-end price, and that's just kind of the nitty-gritty of it. All right, the fourth thing on my list is ergonomics. I love good ergonomics. As you know, with most of my other firearms, this thing is super, super ergonomic, probably the most comfortable pistol I've ever held. The HK VP9sk kind of holds true with that. They still, even though it's cheaper than the P30 model, it still really holds that same kind of feel to it. It has those slight indentations for your fingers, the grooves there, and it's still really, really comfortable. Maybe not as comfortable as the P30, but it is still really, really comfy when holding and shooting. I definitely like that. With that, we said before, you're going to get a bunch of different grip panels and back straps to kind of update that feel if you have bigger or smaller hands. So, I mean, that's kind of a staple in the ergonomics department now. Now, on to the things I think they could have done better. So, number one is fine tuning. Bam! These are the grip panels. So there's two grip panels here. The one on the left is for the P30. The one on the right is clearly for the VP9. And as you can tell there, the texturing on the P30 has a little bit more detail to it. There's a little bit more effort put in that. This one looks like they kind of had a little bit of the discount department, take over there. It's kind of like machine stamped, and that really just looks less refined than the P30, and that's okay. You're getting a little bit of a price break on the VP9 versus the P30, and that's all right. I just think that this one is a little bit more comfortable and grippy versus this one, who looks kind of value, as it were. All right, the second issue I have, everybody can see right in front of you. Anybody who shoots HK knows what they're looking at right there. And that is about $180, give or take, depending on where you buy them. These magazines are expensive. They run around 38 to 45 bucks a pop. And as far as I know, there aren't any aftermarket ones. There may be some off-brand that makes them in the future. If you know, I'll comment below. But I know that as a general whole, you're going to spend tons of money getting magazines. So as far as getting a third or fourth magazine for these, be prepared to pay, because they are pricey, and that's just how it is. I mean, HK makes quality stuff, and I'm pretty certain that they have the patent on these magazines. I think they're proprietary, so in a nutshell, that means that you're gonna pay a lot of money to get one. All right, now I know guys love these pistols. There's a ton of people talking about them, saying all kinds of good stuff. One thing that really stands out in my mind, which happens to be the third thing, maybe it should be higher, but either way, are the reliability issues that I've experienced. And the reason I say that, it's not because of failure to fires or eject, but that this spring, just like the original full-size VP9, it's kind of weak. I mean, I don't know why. Look, I'll use my pinky and my thumb, and this is just really easily movable. And I don't know why they didn't upgrade that spring so that it's a little bit tougher, but if you come to a situation where you have to draw your pistol, it's probably not going to be at 15 yards. You're probably going to be face to face with someone, and if it results in a ground and pound situation where you pull your firearm and press it against somebody, this thing could just really easily come out of battery and not fire, and that is an issue for me. Maybe they have a fix since then, but that's just been something that has kind of stood out in my mind. And the last thing, and one of the most annoying things in my opinion, is the slide stop or slide catch or whatever you want to call it. On this side, you've got this big boat oar that I absolutely love because I'm a lefty, and it just really works well for me. I think that's great. But on this side, they put this it's non-detailed. I don't know if it'll zoom in there. There's really no edge on there. There's nothing to grip onto. It's just a smooth piece of metal, and I don't know why they did it like that. It is recessed, so it's kind of hidden pretty well. It's not gonna, protrude and dig into your side or anything like that, but it's really not that functional, to be honest. I mean, if you're pushing down on that thing and really trying to apply some pressure to get that thing to go, it's kind of a pain in the butt. And I don't really understand why they went that direction. When you're looking at the P30, you got the boat oar on both sides. So it's really easily used and manipulated. And I mean, it's just not an issue whatsoever. So I'm not really sure why they did it that way. Maybe there's some sort of functional reason they did that. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're a right-handed shooter, that is a huge annoyance. And I'm not really sure why they did that. All right, so in conclusion, would I purchase one of these pistols? Yes, I would. Would I buy it brand new for $580? No, I would not. I really like it. I think it's a cool pistol. I love HK as a company, but a $580 for a subcompact pistol that has things that I'm not exactly crazy about, I would not spend the money brand new on that. I would definitely buy one at $380. So if you can find one on the used market and you can get a deal for it, by all means, go pick it up and play with it and love it and enjoy it because it's a great firearm. But as it stands right now, no, I would not spend $580 on this. There's too many other good guns on the market to really think that that's a value. All right, check out Dana Dara and the holsters at Dara Holsters and Gear because they are super awesome for sending that. Big thank you for that, guys. We appreciate it. And check the description box, guys. Pound that like button. Pound it. Later.